Morphology in a wider setting. We are going towards the end of our course. We started with morphology and then we took up after 14-15 lectures, we started syntax. However, now as we are going towards the end of the course, we just want to revise the things once again as a conclusion that what is the impact of morphology as in our language learning, what is important for the students to know about morphology and syntax, and what are its pedagogical aspects, how morphology is involved in so many disciplines, what are its role in wider setting of linguistics. So this is very important because by now we have gone into detail of these two subjects, morphology and syntax, and we have a better understanding of the topic. So from now on, we just recap what we have already covered in the previous lectures. So morphology is at the conceptual center of linguistics because everything starts with words. We start talking with words, though there are certain tiers before the word, like phoneme, right? But actually it's the word, it's the morpheme, it's the morph, right? So it's considered to be the conceptual center of linguistics. So not because it's the dominant subdiscipline, but because morphology is the study of word structure, and words are at the interface between phonology, syntax, and semantics, right? So it is like the interface, something that comes into the face when you look at this, right? So words have phonological properties, they have grammatical properties as well, and they have semantic properties as well. So it is actually the word that opens up the door for phonology, for semantics, and for grammar. So they articulate together to form phrases and sentences. Their form often reflects their syntactic and other functions. So their parts are often composed of meaningful smaller pieces, right? We have seen it in detail. So in addition, words contract relationship with each other by virtue of their forms, right? They form paradigms and lexical groupings. Paradigm, we know, play, played, played, and work, worked, worked. So this is how we know about the paradigms of the word and their lexical grouping, their grammatical grouping, etc. For this reason, morphology is something all linguists have to know about. So if you are studying linguistics, you cannot start your journey into linguistics without your good knowledge of morphology. So the centrality of the word brings with it two important challenges. One, there is the question of what governs morphological form. How is allomorphy to be described? Allomorphy, different, the variation of morpheme, right, or a morph, right? So the second, what governs the syntactic and semantic function of morphological units, and how these interact with syntax and semantics proper. So we have studied this aspect detail, that how different units, when they are attached to the root, form meanings, right? And which of the unit come first and which second, and how they contribute to the overall meaning of a word. So there is less enviable aspect to this centrality, because there are certain debates that which come first and which second. However, the study of morphology in generative linguistics was largely eclipsed by phonology and syntax in the early days, though it is up to the historian of linguistics to say exactly why. However, when especially in the last years of 60s, when generative linguistic or generative grammar or generative phonology precisely came into existence or became more prominent, right? So morphology for some time was suppressed, and more attention was given to syntax and phonology. Morphology and lexical semantic ask such questions as what semantico-syntactic relations can be packaged up inside a single lexeme. However, lexeme plays a very important role to give a relation to these, to the meaning of the word and to its grammatical function. So, word production studies, which often involves the careful analysis of large corpora of speech errors, have generated a number of sophisticated models, including connectionist-inspired one. So, the study of word production is very important because it's open up new vista of thought. It opens up new disciplines and it opens up new discussion on in linguistics. So that's why morphology has a wider setting. It has a relation with semantics, with phonology, with syntax, with semantics, and with many other disciplines, sub-disciplines of linguistics.